Today we are in Melbourne, Florida, a little south of it. We have a super cool guest for today. I can't wait to show you guys who we have on board. This dude is extremely fishy and an amazing artist. Unbelievably amazing artist is what I'm gonna say. That's who's on board today, so you guys tune in and keep following to see who it is. That snook needs bifocal.
Oh, here you go.
Got him. So the Beyond the Surface name on my end derived from years of fishing with friends and clients, along with filming with several people over the years in their various shows. So when I reached out to Stephen about filming a show with me, my mind wasn't so much about catching fish as much as it was about spending a day on the water with a friend of mine in an area that he loves to fish, targeting a fish that he thoroughly enjoys. And I had to see that mural that he painted on the side of the Kingfisher in person. All right, man, let's load up. Let's load up and go get this day started. I can't wait to see what we get into around here. Get this old thing back over here. The old deck cat, see what it can get into in Melbourne Beach area. There we go.
We are in South Melbourne Beach. I lived here for about 10 years. I come back here all the time to snook fish, some of the best snook fishing I think in the state. Recently came back to paint this mural. It's the Kingfisher Burrow. It's a little Airbnb that's going to be available for people to rent so that they can come here and experience Melbourne Beach and stay on the water for, as long as they want. We'll have a boat rental to go with it. It's just an awesome way to, keep it out in nature, keep it low key, and enjoy time to yourself and family or loved ones.
So if you haven't figured it out by now, I got my good buddy, Stephen Ferrell. Stephen Ferrell with us today. One heck of an artist and possibly even a little bit better of a fisherman. Stephen, what do you think we're gonna do today? What's this look like right here in front of you? I mean, we got some wind.
We got a little bit of wind, but we're gonna be able to stay out of it for the most part today. It looks like we're gonna be getting on some good snook.
So this isn't my area at all, never been here before actually. I don't even think I've ever vacationed around here before, so this is all new to me completely, but I've always heard there's no tide over here for the most part, very little.
Yeah, it's a small tide fluctuation compared to the Gulf side, so we don't get a lot of water movement. I mean, there'll be some areas around bridges and the inlet where you'll get a lot of water movement, but back here in the back country, it's minimal.
Yeah, so the wind, this southeast wind helps or not helps, or maybe, let's say it helps.
Yeah, we can say, let's just say it helps today.
Let's say the wind today will help us. The wind will be our friend. All right, well, let's see what we can find here, man. This looks fishy as you can get it to look, really.
Yeah, they'll be sitting in these shadows. See the little shadow lines over here? They like this little corner because it goes back to a pocket there. But I did just see a guy on a kayak hitting all this stuff.
Yeah, he probably was using the wrong bait.
Yeah, he probably doesn't know.
Probably wasn't wiggling it right. Yeah. Well, Stephen, this is a little different for me. We got some mangroves back at home in Cedar Key, but our mangroves kind of grow up on land. They don't really get water underneath them per se. So this is going to be interesting on my end to see how many times I get broke off and lose the battle to get them out. I'm not used to that. I'm used to that old lallygag, I call it. Oh, cool, we got the fish on. I'm not used to that panic mode. You know what I mean? It's
definitely panic out here because these snook are going to go straight for those roots.
So I need to click a few times extra, maybe. Yeah. Wouldn't hurt.
When I'm paddleboard fishing, I always end up swimming.
Yeah, and chasing him, going to dig him out.
Yeah.
Going to his home. Ooh, that was a nice cast. Well, I got right under that shade.
There's a lot of movement over here.
The snook is that species that never lets you down. Once you have him buttoned up and it's just you and the fish, he never sells himself short and he never lets you down. It is a fun fight. Every fish, no matter what size they are. So snook aren't really a species that I fished and targeted growing up. They're relatively new to the Cedar Key area in a general sense. So getting to fish them in an area I've never been to before is a win-win for me every time.
Yeah, when Danny called me, I was really excited about doing a show. I'd never done anything like that before. A little nervous about the pressure and the time you have to try to put something together. He asked me where I wanted to go. I said Melbourne Beach. It's an area that I know really well. I've caught a lot of big snook here, and I figured we could put something together.
There you go.
Little nugget trout.
A little nugget. One of you's got a buddy. That is a
That's
nugget.
a tiny, tiny.
Yeah, that's the first. Got to start somewhere. No airtime. Boom, see ya. The Melbourne area is an area in general that I've never been to before at all. So having Stephen on the boat with me and some of his old knowledge was much easier, obviously, to just navigate and move around. Not even mentioning the fact that he knows where a few fish are at. And man, we saw a lot of big snook today. I mean, finding the fish was never the issue we had going on for us today. So South Melbourne Beach area is a lot of shallow sand, clear water banks. The Capt did extremely well, in my opinion, navigating across 10 to 12 to 14 inches of water to get to some of these little flats adjacent to mangroves that were holding these big snook. One of my biggest things I was curious to see was how Stephen was going to transition from a small paddleboard to a 27-foot Capt trilogy. And he did just fine. If the wind wouldn't have been involved, I believe we would have done much better.
Look at this big fish coming.
What do you mean coming?
The lure spooked him out of the trees.
Oh, damn.
I think it just spooked him.
Oh, nice job, dude. Nice job. Let me pick up the trainer. Good job, dude. That was neat.
There he is.
Multitasker, you little multitasker, you. Let me see if I can get him for you.
Yeah, I don't really like touching these fish.
You don't like Oh, nice. Got him. Woo! Son, that was neat.
That was.
Hey, you said it, you were throwing that top water, and what did he boat out of it? He pulled out of the root?
Yeah, started waking behind it and then kind of past the top water, so I picked up the soft plastic.
I swear in like 2.5 seconds you picked up and swapped to the soft plastic. The next thing I know, splash! That was awesome. Oh, dang. I thought he was fixing to get really cool for us. That's why I let him go. He was trying to tail walk. Good job, dude. Yeah. Give me some, boom. Let's do it again.
Fishing for snook is it's my favorite fish to fish for. They're huge fish, they're scrappy, it's a challenge. Sight fishing them on the paddleboard has been some of the most exciting fishing I've experienced, and I've been able to fish a lot of different environments. And fishing for snook, the excitement of watching them eat, them dragging you into the mangroves, having to sometimes jump in and swim for them. Once you hook into a snook, there's no guarantee that that fish is coming to hand, ever.
So following Stephen over the years on his Instagram page and seeing the way he can take a fish and hold it and turn it into monsters every time. Now he catches big fish, don't get me wrong, but he has a special way of holding them and he's really good at it. But his art now, the level of art in that fella is something else. He has done so many cool projects over the years. I've watched him as he goes, and just getting to spend a day on the water with him and pick his brain about his history with his art was a treat in its own. I mean, if I was a big snook, I'd hang around that dead tree.
Yeah, never caught one near it yet. Telling you, when I was painting that house, I paddled this bank probably 4 times a day.
Yeah.
Just I'd get kind of tired of painting.
Yeah, take a break.
I need a break, and I would just paddle over here for 20 minutes, and you'd see those snook just blowing out of these
yeah.
Out of these mangroves. Oh my God, look at that school of them.
Oh, good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We got to get one on the hook now. This is making me, we're getting worked up over here. I'm getting worked up.
Man, we had to cast over those fish.
Oh, what you got?
Oh, that was little, whatever it was, little trout.
I got a minnow net if we have to catch some live bait.
A minnow net?
Yeah, minnow net, cast net, bait net, whatever you want to call it.
We don't have to do that.
Oh,
oh, he's chasing. Saw him chasing those marks.
Chasing something. So in most of our episodes, we like to take a little bit of a break, whether it's in the evening or at lunch, and just kind of take in some of the local scene, sit down at the local restaurant and kind of blend in with the folks. It's part of our destinational piece when we go to wherever we're going. So in this episode in South Beach, Melbourne, we visited the old fish house. It was a little bit not so sure when we first pulled up, but folks, let me tell you, the help was very friendly and the food was amazing.
You know, so I've been involved in art since I was a kid. I've always drawn. Drawing was kind of my thing. I got involved with designing Bass Pros. I did that for 18 years. And when I came out of that, I kind of started doing my own art and posting things to social media. And that's really what kind of, you know, made it take off. People were responding to the art that I showed them and really loved it. So I just kind of kept doing it and selling my art at art shows and making connections, selling art to clothing companies like Marshwear. I've sold art to Power Pole. You know, this project came up from social media as well. It's my passion, and I'm you know, my fishing passion and my art passion is kind of coming together. I paint and draw what I like to do, and it's been really great. Typically, my art is pretty small scale. I do a lot of pen and ink, you know, 18 by 20 inch pieces of paper. This mural project is my largest project by far. I didn't really even know if it was something I was capable of doing at the time, and they asked me and presented the challenge, and I took it, and I feel like it came out pretty good. The finished product, I couldn't be happier with it. The people that own the Kingfish Burrow, they were happy, and I'm really excited for the people that are going to stay here to come and experience it and get to see this art as well.
So coming from Cedar Key, we have oyster bars, grass flats, sawgrass lines. We do not have overhanging mangrove trees. I don't know how much of it we'll show you, but I know how many times I was staying stuck in those trees.
Oh, yes. There's a snook.
There it is, baby. There it is. Hey, hit the power poles. Hit the power poles. And turn it off. That's the blade. Coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. Woo, hot and heavy. Okay, okay.
It's a decent fish, man.
Hey, winner, winner. He had to have that little snook snack. Snookum snack. All right, stay buttoned up just for a second. Don't cut me, don't cut me, don't cut me. There you go. Nice job, little fella. Well, you was right, Steve. They laying in here like cordwood.
Yeah. Snook on top of snook.
Shouldn't have hit the brakes. I was right in there. So Stephen, the mural, tell me, that thing's so neat in so many ways. I think it's a stingray.
That was snook right there. That was several snooks.
See, I told you stories do things. I mean, how do you get the gig and how does that come into play? Hey, do you want to paint the side of my house? I mean, tell me, what's this backlog before, you know, short version?
They contacted me through Instagram, you
Okay.
know, and asked me if I could paint a mural on their house, and it's not something that I do. Today was a real grind. The weather was against us, the wind was against us, the fish, we saw big fish, we hooked some big fish, but every step of the way, things were just not going right for us.
Again, Beyond the Surface TV is a little more about spending time with people that you like to be around, catching fish and doing a passion that you both share. So it brings elements of struggle to the game whenever you do that. And it's okay. It's fine to go out there and fish hard, work hard, and grind a little bit, as long as you get a few of the targeted scenarios wherever you may be, as long as you get a couple of them in your hands before the day's out. We've seen a whole lot of snook as we moved around all day long, whether it was in the canals, whether it was on the beaches, whether it was on the inside mangrove walls. Lots and lots and lots of big snook laying here and there. But the big surprise of the day was about a 25, 30-pound tarpon freight train Stephen's line and throw him off on the first jump. Dang, nice fish. There he is. Oh, no.
Tarpon, dude.
Ah. Dang.
What is that doing out here?
Dude, he drilled it. So Stephen fishes for snook down this way with all artificial. He pretty much throws all artificial wherever he goes, no matter where it is. And so I throw a lot of artificials myself. But when you're faced with spooky fish, heavy winds, stirred up waters, and just lumpy attitude from the fish, it's really hard to not just go, you know what, I brought a cast net. So we were seeing a lot of these finger mullet running around in the same areas that we were seeing the snook lay around. So it didn't take long for us to say, you know what, match the hatch, let's get the cast net, and let's see if we can't put one of these big bruisers in the boat. So once we gathered up our mullet, we knew where we had little hot spots where we actually had some numbers sitting. We had seen them there a few times as we revisited ideas throughout the day, transitioning with the tides and the wind movement. We had the wind change on us a couple of times, so that kept our brain really moving back and forth, so to speak, in the areas we had seen the big snook laying. So once we got those mullet, it was very easy to decide between one or two places where we were going to take those fresh live mullet and lay on the flat. And the aggression and the determination that snook had towards that mullet was something to see.
Ooh, somebody got ate.
Either you, I'm behind you. It must be you.
You missed it.
He didn't miss it then.
Still missed it.
Wow.
Still missed it.
Wow.
Still missed it.
Eat, fish, eat.
Still missed it all those times.
Wow, that was way back in the weeds again. Let me get it up here in the middle of everything. That snook needs bifocals.
Oh, here he goes.
Got him. There he is.
Yes.
There you go. I drug it out of the weeds. He must have seen it coming out of the weeds and thought it was all kind of perfect.
He went from mine to yours.
Oh yeah. Come on with it, big boy. Oh yeah.
That's a good fish.
Yeah, man. You gonna put your mitts on him?
Yeah, I'll get him.
I'm gonna need a little help, I have a feeling.
Dude, that's a stud.
Yeah.
Woo! Son, that feels good after the day we have had, my friend. Where you going? Where you going? He tried to go back to home front there. Had to put the pin brakes on him, and the bull bay brakes. With a little gentle finger pressure there. Well, that's a nice snook,
That's
Stephen.
a stud.
That's a nice snook. Trying to keep that leader off his face. We've had to downgrade our leader with this sensitive deal here. Got him right in the corner. Come on, come on.
Come here. Come here, buddy.
Open up. There he goes.
Yeah.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, bud.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a solid fish, bro.
Once we had that fish on the line and he was doing his thing, watching him just showcase who he is, it was so much of a relief to have Stephen grab him by the lip and him be ours for just a minute while we can admire all the hard work that we put in throughout the day to get to that point.
You stole that fish from me, man.
Bro, I look at us as teammates. Say, like you were the quarterback,
Yeah.
you pitch it right to me.
That's a beautiful fish,
Dude,
man.
that is so nice. And so we have worked hard now. We have worked hard for that bite right there.
Yes, we have.
We have seen that model how many times?
And bigger.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Lots-
yeah. We've
lots
seen a
bigger.
lot of big snook, and we have been getting snobby snook the whole day. It's a huge win.
Yep. To end the day the way that we did, watching that one big snook fight over my bait and Danny's bait, and it felt like that fight between the snook and Danny lasted for 10 minutes, and to finally land that fish, it felt like a huge weight was lifted off our shoulders. And we were on cloud 9 to finish the day off.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was killer.
Yes.
How many times, like that dude's fish, his eyes had to have been completely closed, and he was
Yeah.
just Ray Charles and trying to eat or something. But man, we have had a day. We have seen big fish all day long. We phoned the kitchen sink at them. Finally said, you know what, let's get us some mullet.
Yep.
And it worked.
It
man.
worked finally, yeah.
Good job, dude.
Yep.
Perseverance. Got to keep plugging along, keep the mind moving, keep trying different things, and sometimes it work out, sometimes it don't. Today it did. So coming into the day, I got to be honest with you, I had a lot of big expectations until we got to the ramp to rain. Big, huge cloud cover and a lot of wind. At that point in time, I've been doing this long enough to know that that was going to add a lot of struggles to our game plan. But that's fishing, and that's how it is these days. You just got to get out there, put your nose to the grindstone. And having Stephen on the boat to help me navigate through all of those changes throughout the day, I can't think of anybody else I'd rather have with me.